Okay. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's section. My name is Hope Christopher. If you can hear me or you can see me, kindly put me on the chat box telling me that you can. Good evening from where you're watching me. My name is Hope Christopher. If you can hear me, say hi. And if you can see me, say I can. Okay, so welcome to tonight's section. Seriously, I'm energized already. Thank you, Deborah. Hi, Abayomi. Thank you for everyone. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for acknowledging this invite. Seriously, it's gonna be one moment for you that you're not going to forget. Yes, in every areas of our life, there's actually a moment that we do not forget, we grow with, and it helps us navigate through certain changes in life. And today is that day for you. Yes, if you were to be in church, I guess you would say amen to what I said, because today is actually going to be a transformational season for you and your household. So if you're here, it's not a mistake being here. Okay, so my name is Hope Christopher. I'll be your host for tonight's section. You are here because you're invited. You're here because you're a parent. You're here because you're a practitioner. You're here because you want to improve your skill. You want to improve your skills and get better. You're here because you want a transformation. Yes. And this is one step to your transformation you don't want to miss. So the program is a 2 days program, being the introduction to family system engineering. So you may be wondering, what is family system engineering? Just sit down, relax. If you have a chill coffee beside you, trust me, you will need that coffee, because while the section will be going on, you will kind of ask some certain questions. You ask yourself over and over again if this is you, because it's going to be a life-changing section for you. It's going to be a life transformational section for you. And trust me, you don't want to miss that section. You don't want to miss that moment where you come to certain realities about strengthening your relationship amongst your family members, where you come to certain realities about your goal settings, problem solving framework, and you get to see if you're actually working under a bias or not, or you get to see if you're actually doing it well. So certain things is actually happening in our today's world. You all agree with me that the family is a production factory of the society. As much as possible, we want our families to be built on a solid foundation, and that begins with acknowledging certain factors, certain things that may be as a stumbling block. And I'm very sure that today's program, it's really going to be an eye-opener for you, and it will help you navigate through certain limitations you may be having in your field as a parent or as a teacher or as someone that wants to take the next step in his or her career. Like I said previously, if you have not yet invited your friends, I want you to invite your friends. Right? It will be a scene, yes. It will be a scene for you to get this much for free tonight, and your friends will not have the opportunity to enjoy from it. So you are going to see inviting your friend. So I want you to invite your friend. While you do that, please kindly chat, put it on the chat box where you are calling from, and your name, your location. We want to meet with you. We want to connect with you. We want to be sure that we are reaching out to you. So your name on the chat box, where you're calling from, and also how we could also connect you. Possibly put out your email there. It will be very, very important. Okay, now the iceberg. Certain times we want to change certain narratives in our lives. We want to change narratives in our lives, and we do not know how to do that. The thing is, how do you want to do certain things when you don't know how to navigate through? So I will leave you with these questions for you to ponder upon while we go through tonight's section. Please do not forget to write your name, your location, and where you are calling from, on where you are watching from on this one. So if you could have a superpower, what would that be? At a point in my life, at some point earlier few months ago, I was actually asked certain questions as this, and it got me thinking. And I'm very sure that this is one thing you should get yourself involved. You should start thinking about it, because seriously, you are going to have a real transformational time. Okay, someone say you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, say you can't, please. I put it on the chat box. Tell me you can't, please. If you can hear me, say you can't, please. I want to confirm that, please. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so what historical figure would you want to meet with? What historical figure would you want to meet with? And the next is what's the best interesting place you have ever visited? You know, there's this memory that comes with you connecting with certain views, certain pictures, certain kind of pressing. So you want to find a way you can connect with this. So it's an icebreaker you would want to think about and connect with while we go on tonight's section. And the next one is, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I guess this is a question that got me thinking, and I knew I needed help. I think we're going to come to that area later today. Yes, I knew I needed help. By the time I went through the section of my vision for 10 years, how far can it take me with what I have? And I'm very sure many of us should be on that table tonight. You should be on that table tonight. The vision you have for the family, for the system you are building, how far can it carry you as a parent, as a practitioner, as a teacher, or whoever you may be? How far can it carry you for 10 years? We still have more years. We still have more years to come. So how far can it carry you? So there's a lot to do in this area, and we want to see a reason. Trust me, it's going to be a life transformational and for you tonight, and you're not alone. Yes, you're not alone. You've always got to see that to lead on. Whenever you feel, oh, I think I'm doing something, I think I've done something wrong, I think I need help. Yes, with the Family Engineering and Development Institute, you are not alone. You are really not alone. Okay, so it's actually time for the testimony. And trust me, I am the first testimonial on board. Okay, so I guess everyone is ready to hear my own testimony. Okay, so starting up as a child protection advocate and a parenting coach. So I've been in this for like 7 years. And for me, I thought I've got many strategies. I thought I've got many systems that works. But I just knew, okay, I needed some touch. I needed some, maybe I'm finishing. And Praise Forward has always been my coach, has always been my mentor for years, since 2019. I discovered his uniqueness. So I thought of, okay, I think I should follow this person, and because he has what I want. Yes. So I've been following him gradually. I've been following his book, reading most of his book, practicing most of the things he asked me. So most of the things I say, it's actually it was actually gotten from his own methodology. So I thought of, okay, I think coming to the Institute of Family Engineering and Development would just would just do the finishing work. Trust me, when I arrived at the institute, I just knew I needed more. I knew I had almost nothing in me. It wasn't like I had a wasted 7 years. No, I've built myself to some capacity. In short, my friends calls me the strategist. So you can imagine how it is. People call you the strategist and you are in one place to learn more, maybe to get a finishing touch. And all of a sudden you just knew that that name no fit you first until you upgrade yourself. That was where I was when I joined the Institute of Family Engineering and Development. That was where I was. And all through my 12 years, I would say, I went to the university. I spent 5 years in the university. No jokes, seriously. What I've learned under 12 weeks, I'll tell you, it's something that I am yet to wake up from that reality. I've learned so much. In short, I gave myself 1 week break from work after the old section to rethink again, to reframe my systems, to see how I can change the narratives. I can take away certain biases I have about my practices, because that was actually a limitation for me. And one of my friends called my notice. Was it last week? Yes, my friend called my notice and said, "Oh, the way you chat these days is quite different from the previous you." Now, note, not that I wasn't doing fine. I was doing fine, but there was a deep transformation for me. Yes, there was a refined me. I was redefined. That is one thing that the Institute would do for you. So this is me sharing my story. I've got a lot to say. For every of the modules I went through. It was a life transformational section for me that I'm yet to recover. I've taken many professional courses, but this one is quite different. Yes, I have never seen its kind that has the ability and capacity to solve certain issues under a period of minutes. Especially when I get to know the Oyela test. I was like, this is just one thing I needed all my 7 years. So this is just one thing I needed. Imagine searching for all of these things and I could get it for 12 weeks. What more can you do for yourself? I guess this is something you should ponder upon, because the world awaits you to change the narratives of Africa. It is through you families will be limited, families will be uplifted. Families will be uplifted. Families will find their bearings. The world awaits your manifestation, but without you getting equipped in certain areas, you won't be able to attend that position that everyone look up to. So the ball is in your court tonight. What are you willing to change tonight? How are you ready to change the narrative? How are you ready to be better? Yes, to be better in that field of study. So you might be a teacher, you might be a parent, you might be the head of an organization, you might be a consultant, but how are you willing? What price are you ready to pay for that? I guess the number one price you're willing to pay is being here tonight. And I am congratulating you, because it's really going to be a mind-blowing section for you. Yes, I'm congratulating you in advance, because I trust the process of you coming out better than you've been before. I'm congratulating you because African awaits your uniqueness and your peculiarities. I congratulate you because the best of you will start unveiling after tonight's section. I congratulate you because you would start unveiling that which is hidden inside of you. And trust me, you think you've done so much. Wait until the end of this 2 days Power Pack section with the Institute of Family Engineering and Institute. Then you would know that indeed there is just so much to help the world with. And I'm bringing in tonight's speaker, which is the person of the Director of Studies, Dima Nwobi. the happiness queen. I get to know her during this period, and it has been amazing. Seriously, looking at her smiling gives me more reason to smile. She has been so helpful during my section in FSC. I'm saying thank you so much, Ma, for this great win. I appreciate you, and God bless you, Ma. Over to you, Ma.
Thank you, Hope. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hope. Thank you for that introduction. And everyone, welcome to today's conversation, the new rules of family life practice. And it's always exciting for me to be here with everyone. And so, yeah, I know that Hope has done every intro, but I just want to check in. How are you doing? How are you doing? And if you are going to come and share with me one reason why you are here with us, I'd like for you to come to the chat room to say that as I share my slides. Why are you here? And it's okay to say, my friend dragged me here, or I just want to know your particular reason for being here. So let me go to the chat room. So I'm just saying, Dima, love, I love you too. Tell me why you're here. And I'm more interested here, of course, I know that we have practitioners here, but I want to know, if you are not yet a member of the family systems engineering approach, tell me why you are here. Because I know why we gathered you here. I just want to be sure that we have similar goals for tonight. And like Hope said, it's going to be an amazing 2 days. Let me just tell you this straight up. Once you're here, please do not miss tomorrow, because we're going to be dividing what we'll be sharing with you. Tomorrow will now be like, hammering it down into our heads. So at the end of today's class, I'm hoping that you will discover the opportunities that exist in family life space, particularly if you're someone passionate about family life and you're wondering, can I find expression there? What can I do? You will discover lots of opportunities. Again, we'll be looking at the 7 reasons why family life practitioners struggle. I do not know how you built your business, or if it has been all joy, growth, and all that, but there are unique challenges that family life practitioners face that makes them struggle, and we'll be helping you to look at them in these 2 days. Again, one of the fundamentals of human existence is the fact that what we believe has a way of influencing our behaviors and ultimately creating the results that we have. So there are lots, but we'll be looking at 6 major sabotaging beliefs that if you want to thrive in the new rule of family life practice, you need to uninstall it. And then we will be sharing with you 5 of the 10 new rules of family life practice, because again, time will not permit that we share everything. But as Hope said, I'm hoping that at the end, you will want to become a family systems engineering practitioner, where you will unlock all of the 10 rules of family life practice that will transform your practice. And lastly, we will be exposing to you the best template yet to accelerate your success rate as a family life practitioner across the globe. So that is what my team and I are hoping that we would help you achieve. So Samuel says, I'm here to learn so I can better in what I'm doing, okay? Olatunji says, I want to learn the new rules of becoming better in impacting lives. Fortune wants to expand knowledge on my parenting. You're going to get that, but this is more about the work you're going to do outside of yourself as much as it begins from you. Dome wants to gain knowledge to improve my skills in child development. Blessing is here to be impacted. I'm a teacher and a counselor just for personal development and growth. And Joseph is here to acquire knowledge about his practice. Fantastic. So let's get it rolling. Of course, I think the rules have been set, so I'm going to just run through that, and then we can go on. So again, for you to get the best out of this, it's important that you find a quiet space, turn off all distractions so that you can spend the best 2 hours of your time tonight. This is just some ground rules in case you want to change your name rather than you having iPhone, Galaxy, what and what, so that you're able to put a name to yourself. And please choose a super critic for yourself within you. That's you allowing nothing to distract you, putting your best foot forward. And if case there are many things, I know that you've learned, some of you here are professors and have gone through different learnings, but I just want to do one thing tonight for us, to just open up your minds to listen to what we're going to share and allow yourself to now take it home and go do extra research on it. So I like for us to affirm this together. You don't need to unmute yourself so that it doesn't get rowdy, but from where you are, I just want you to repeat this. This is something that will put energy into your lives. And then as you repeat it, you want to also, wait, let me keep that. So let's go. I am worthy of whatever I desire to earn from the incredible value I add to humanity. I deserve much more than I charge because I save lives every day, much more than the world can imagine. My clients attain clarity and achieve their desired results while I also achieve my financial goals. I am a family life coach and I keep the world happy. And this resonates so much with me because my tribe called me the Queen of Happiness and Human Flourishing. And if you're already working in the family life space and just repeating this thing triggers some discomfort for you, then you are supposed to be here. Because I remember back in the days when I started my practice, and then some people from church, from different walks of life who have encountered me in the past will say, oh, Dima, I want you to help me with this, or I'm referring someone to you. And then I tell them, okay, this is how I work. This is what it will cost. And they're like, oh, Dima, you charge for this? I thought it's a free gift. God has blessed you with wisdom to help people. Why are you charging for that? And I remember one of the conversation was with someone who owned a school. And I asked her, can my children move to your school? Of course, I knew they were settled in their school, but I just wanted to make that a learning moment. And he goes, yes, of course. Oh, our school is one of the, and I'm like, okay, what's your fees like? And he told me the fees. I'm like, what will my children be paying? He said, oh, Dima, they will pay the school fees. I said, but you did not give me free entry for my children into your school because of the value that I'm bringing to humanity. Many times I have had to set the tone with people to let them know that the work we do is work. The same way that a doctor has gone to school and has been trained and is offering medical services to save lives, the same way a barrister is discharging his duties, that is the same way that our work is also the vocation, the work we do. And so please, if you are anybody here who has ever felt guilty for putting money to the services you offer, then you need to be here, because just recently I had a conversation with a church that wanted to bring me down to a location outside of my location. And then we're talking about it. I'm like, okay, my PA is going to reach you and then to discuss, the itinerary and all of the logistics. And they're like, okay, when are you coming? Are you going to come with night bus? I'm like, excuse me, what does that mean? I don't know what's night bus. Like, I'm going to fly to your location. I'm not going to fly. When I'm traveling, I fly. So why are you going to bring me down to your location and you want me to go by the bus? And the conversation led to them, my PA sending them the rules of engagement. That also included the fees for me to be flying down and also speaking. And the lady responded to the email, oh, she did not know that they were going to pay that much. And my PA was also magnanimous to say, okay, what's your budget for a resource person? And their budget was something as ridiculous as wanting me to fly down, I don't want to mention the state, but somewhere in Southwest Nigeria. And their budget for the resource person who was going to speak for 3 days was 50,000 naira in August 2023. Of course, that engagement did not hold. And so we're going to be talking more about that, because many a times, a lot of us come into family life space from our social circles and from our church circles, and then they bamboozle us to say that your services need to be offered for free. And because you've not transitioned your mindset from that to a full-time work that has staffing and other overhead costs, you may not be able to transition into charging effectively. So I remind myself that what I charge is so much little compared to the value that I'm bringing to humanity and making the world happy. So I'm going to share a little bit about my journey and how we have transitioned to where we are, so that that could also encourage someone. So my story is quite a personal and a unique one, because prior to going into paid employment, I already knew that I was going to be doing something like I'm doing today. But then I had to go to paid employment in banking, primarily because I needed to learn to disassociate a rejection of my offer from a rejection of me. And you will hear me in this new life of family life, new rules of family life, talking about our beliefs, because my beliefs have showed up in different places and I continue to navigate them. So whilst I was in banking, I had given myself, I was going to be there for 5 to 7 years and then step out to set up my practice. It's important to note that I had started doing family life practice on my own, based on the learnings I've gotten from books, which I know some of us can identify with how you started that way, and the seminars and workshops like those of the blessed Pastor Bimbo Dukoya. So we started that journey. And then I was in banking, running marriage programs with my husband, taking couples away to weekend getaways to just relax and learn more about marriage, and counting down to the years that I wanted to spend in banking. So if you were in banking in the 2000s and downwards, that was the era where we were earning rubber salary, according to some people. So as the salary was sweeting me, I was just staying there and did not want to leave. But you see the thing about couples, by the time I was hitting the 7th year and the 8th year, I became restless and dissatisfied. Going to work seemed like a chore. And so I knew that I needed to disengage. But because I value learning and I value competence, I wanted to also get myself trained beyond just what my own experience was, or merely just limiting my practice to books. And so I started a very intentional journey of development in the family life space. And over that time, I stumbled on resources of Praise for Wowe. I remember one of his talks then, how to, something about lessons from the prostitutes. And I'm like, who is this man that is teaching us stuff from prostitution? But then by the time I listened, I knew it was a topic for wives and women. Anyway, the journey continued. And one day, one of my personal development coaches just took me to PF. And I was running a training then, and he looked at me and said, "Oh, you look like someone I know." And he took me and went to PF. Interestingly, PF was in another room in the same training center, running some training. And he asked PF, "Who does this woman look like?" And PF looked at me and like, "I don't know." And the man said, "Doesn't she look like your wife, Tosi?" And that was how my look-alikeness with Tosi Praise for Wowe started. But that was the first day I was meeting Praise for Wowe in person. And one of the things I had to do through my personal development journey was to identify the people who were already running businesses in the way that I wanted it, or had some things they were doing that would add to my new growing practice. And I identified Praise for Wowe because of his quickness to think, the resources he was building and stuff like that. I connected with him, and the rest, like they say, is history, but it's not history without intentional work. By the time I was resigning from banking in June 30th, 2016, I had already done Family Systems Engineering practitioner's course, because I was taking the training while I was still in banking. And so I'd finished the training, and it was such a marvelous thing for me to see a body of knowledge that I've been trying to teach others, but somebody had packaged it into a system and was really robustly engaging. That was how I fell in love in the family systems engineering approach. And then I interned with Praise for Woe at the Center of Sex and Family Life. From there, we created this institute, and yours truly became the pioneer director of studies at the institute. And up till now, 7 years later, I cannot disassociate from family systems engineering, because I know that that approach has added insights, knowledge, and a lot of resources to my practice. Why did I take time to share this? It doesn't matter where you started from. You may have started from the knowledge you had from your own experience of having a happy marriage, or in your own experience of having dealt with some traumatic, bad experiences, and you just start that way. But then there is a difference between native intelligence. There is a difference between what you just read to having like tools, like Hope said, psychometric tools that can help you diagnose the cases of your clients to almost a 94% accuracy. And you're able to tell them, this is what is happening, these are the likely things, these are my recommendations, and the people begin to call you a prophet. Like, how did you know what is happening? That is one of the things the many tools in FSC did for my practice and can also do for yours. So again, with Praise for Woe as the lead strategist and the brain box behind the Family Systems Engineering certification, we and the team have run the certification over different batches from 2016 and counting. And thankfully, we have produced over 1,000 practitioners practicing all over the world. We have our practitioners creating amazing results in Canada, in America, in the United States of America, across North America, in Asia, in the Caribbean, in Africa, and everywhere. So we are honored to be here, to be learning about this tool that every other person is using. All right, so I hope that you have come together, you feel centered to your core, and you're relaxed. You've taken away every form of distraction, because right about now, I want us to go into our spirits and just take a deep breath in, breathing peace, breathing in harmony. And as you exhale, I'd like for you to exhale every fear, every rigidity, and all of that. Esoye says, I see myself in the picture. Fantastic. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about, where are the opportunities in family life practice? And what is the main deal around family life practice in Africa? All right, so what separates Africa from the rest of the world isn't just competence issue, it is often esteem issues and lack of belief in our solutions. And I think that is so spot on. For one of my strengths is love of learning. And as a result of that, I have learned under different cultures, traveled to America, to UK and different parts to gain certifications and also learn some approaches outside of here. And one thing I can tell you is that when we go out, people are always amazed at the results that we can produce from Africa. And I think we were having the conversation in the family, the FSC group around this week, talking about the indigenous creations and innovations that our ancestors created. But it's just that, sadly, they did not do documentation right. And so we lost some of those things. But even again, if you take it around how, as Africans, the effects of colonialism, where the whites came in and made us feel that the solutions we had were substandard, and they fed that down our throats, and we believed it. Meanwhile, if you study history, Africa, precisely the Benin Kingdom, was one of the first kingdom where light was first used, with the kind of creation and innovation that our ancestors did then. Remember even some of our things that were taken away and taken to foreign lands. Think about our herbal medicine, and lots of innovation, even family systems engineering, that is the basis of our conversation today, is indigenous, created by Africans for Africa. And if you've studied some of the solutions that come from the West, it's not that they are not effective, but sometimes they are not so much adapted to our realities as Africans, as what we faced, especially with our ancestors and all of that. So it kind of sometimes disassociated from our reality. I remember back in I can't remember which year specifically, where Praise went to do a presentation in the Family Life Coaching Association conference in America, and he made a case with one of the tools we use in FSC, the beliefs compatibility test. And when he presented that, because one of the things you will learn in FSC is knowing that everybody is functioning at the basis of their beliefs. It is what you believe unconsciously that, fuels your behaviors. When he presented that, particularly when it came to the concept of Africa with superiority, with roles and responsibility, with control, with financial transparency, with even extended family influence, the people there were wowed to say that even whilst they were working with African families, they were always facing the stumbling block of not really understanding where they were coming from and the mindset behind some of the issues that they were having. But with the beliefs compatibility now they understood where this opportunity of presenting workshops at international conferences, and they're like, wow, do you live in America? I said, no, I live in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm an Igbo woman. And they're like, oh my goodness, we didn't know that this depth can come from Africans. So I want you to know that we are unique people, we are innovators, we have what it takes. But because of the beliefs that has passed through us generationally, especially with making it look like things of African descent are inferior, some of us, that belief has eaten deep into ourselves that we do not even believe that we can have solutions. So somebody is able to work with someone, and then you can document the process and the steps that help you achieve that. But deep down in you, you're feeling like, no, it doesn't have a certified, US certified in it. There is no UK certified in this process. And so it is that I want to let you know that we have broken that learning work. Now we're exporting the approach abroad, that because there is so much that we have, and it is not it is your beliefs, which I'm hoping that today you can change them and get liberated to go into the world and deliver your solutions as authentic as they are. So if you look at family life practice, because sometimes people are asking, do you make money from this? When I left banking, my mother was one of the people who was concerned for me. And she's like, you left banking, this thriving career that you're growing, and you want to be coming to be telling people how to do marriage. She couldn't relate with that. My mom is 71, and this year it's the 51st wedding anniversary of my parents, 52nd wedding anniversary of my parents. And so she couldn't relate with people coming for professional counseling. But even for you, you need to know that personal coaching is just one of the basic foundational expressions of your work as a family life practitioner. You can do personal coaching, and it can be exhausting, I can tell you that, particularly if your calendar gets filled and you have to work on one-on-one. You can also do group coaching, where you gather a group of people and help them achieve a predetermined transformative solution. All right. You could also work organizational employee and family assisted programs, where you are deploying the tools of family life into organizations. Because we know that, contrary to what people say, that when you're coming to work, you should leave your family problems at home. No, that doesn't work, because the emotions drive people and people drive performance. If somebody is not enjoying a thriving family, it is most likely going to impact on the person's delivery at work. So there are lots of employee-assisted programs you can help organizations deploy, and those are part of the things you get. Report preparation. We have practitioners who have mastered the art of analyzing the Oyela. That's what we call it. The body of our psychometric tools is called the Oyela. So we have practitioners who have mastered the act of analyzing it and putting it together in a report, and then delivering it to you to give to your clients. That somebody can write a report and it can earn as much as 30,000, 20,000 from writing one report. And so imagine if you decide to specialize in that, when you take the family systems engineering approach, then you can write 10 reports in a week and you're making cool 200,000. So you can also do deals with governments. Lots of loopholes and gaps in the society can be fixed if we teach people how to treat human beings right, and also start the work from the family, because the family is the production center of the society. And so any sustainable work that government has to do has to start from family. So you can do that. Broker deals with family, get paid for consulting. Either you're consulting for states, you're consulting for the federal, you're consulting for organizations, you are even consulting for body of families. So I have products that also helps me consult for group of families who have decided to form a clan, and so they want to have a clan ideology because they recognize that it takes a village to raise a child, and so they don't want to raise their children in isolation. They want to form tribes and clans, and together they deploy the system. That's consulting. You can consult for non-governmental organizations that work on family or child development issues, and then you earn your cool cash and you're moving on. You can create intellectual property, right? Create intellectual property based on what you learned. Okay, so I'm creating intellectual properties for marriage preparation, for helping women heal, for different stuff. Members of our team, people who have taken FSC, have created intellectual properties ranging from the different subsections of family life, and they are using it in their work. They are licensing people to use it. They are offering it to organizations as templates. That is also a cash cow for you in the family life space. So partnerships, you can go into partnerships, you can work with NGOs or start your NGO and carry your passion for whatever part of family life down there, get your grants, and go deeper to the grassroots and everywhere. Matchmaking is also a thriving family life sector, where you help people to come together and matchmake them. Where you, Jessica, I don't understand what you mean. How come I'm signing up here? I don't know what that means. Please tell me more. So Jessica, for people like you know, your niche is a very needed niche, because again, sex and sexuality and how to thrive in it is something that people need, but then we do it, you know, without in secrecy. But I see the great work you are doing with Intimacy Masters. So imagine when you now get the FSC tools, how much you can even help your clients. Matchmaking, preparation and response, a lot of interventions. So guys, if you are just thinking, I don't want to do family life because I don't have power to sit and just be talking to one person. That is one of the basics. Of course, it will help you grow your skills and mastery, but there's so much. The value chain of the family life practice is so much that this does not even exhaust all that is there. But once you step into the boat, then you know how to do that, all right? So let's continue our conversation. All right. You know, when the student shows up, the teacher is always there. And like I tell people, most times we think we are late to the parties of our lives, but we are just coming at the time when everything has aligned for us to be there, because we are never late really. It's just that we may not understand that is the timing of life. So whenever you chance into something, forget about whether I should have done this years ago, where have I been? Now that you're here, give it your best. Because some people join the boat at 80 and then they overrun the people that have been there from 20. So my dears, whenever you get here, what you should tell yourself is, what can I do with this, and hit running. Okay, so I want you to look at this, and this is where I want to see you come to the chat room. When you see this picture, and I mean from the depth of your heart, what do you see? We need to run, all right? Look at this picture. What do you see, and how does that make you feel? So you're telling me what you see, and you're telling me a feeling word. And I'm going to keep my eyes glued to the chat room. Okay, quickly, I want to move the slide to the next one. What are you seeing? Somebody says, fantastic, a sex hawker, and the emotion is judgmental. Any other person, what do you see? What do you see? And when you see this, what do you see in this? What are you seeing in this next picture? Judith says, runs girls negotiating. Dr. Princess say marketers. I wonder what they are marketing. Dr. Princess, you need to help us know. So please use the chat room. I'm not going to be entertaining people raising their hands. If you want to say something, use the chat room so that we can really move, because there's a lot we want to talk about tonight. Miriam says, I feel bad. Someone says sex hawker. Another person says, okay, look at this. What do you see? Tell me quickly what you're seeing. Judith is seeing club girls. I think that's the last. Someone is saying bold business women. Okay, so we are now on this. Somebody sees IDPs, okay? Ladies on duty. I see a lady who needs help in the first video. Women who do not see value in themselves. Okay, can we move on to this? Are we still seeing women who do not see value except the IDP? I'm moving on. Tell me what you see. When you look at this, what do you see? Girls on runs. We've moved on, yes. Somebody say immigrants in camp. I'm on the slide now that has some people clad in white dresses. So what are you saying? Somebody says religion, IDPs and a couple. Oluyomi says worshippers. Ojenike sees religious organizations. Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so my question to you now is this. Religion worshippers. So how did you arrive at your conclusions? Whatever you saw, I'm not disputing what you said, what you saw, and I'm not saying whether what you saw is right, is wrong. There's no right or wrong here. I'm just curious that your curiosity should also be sparked up right now. How did you arrive at your conclusions? The people who saw Ron's girls and felt pity for them, the people who saw religious organizations, these images did not say anything. But then by seeing them, somebody says from their dress sense, somebody says because of what I saw, their outfits. So I'm going to ask you a question. When I came on as the speaker for today and you saw me wearing a black top, honestly, what was the impression that came to your mind seeing my black top? Anyone? Jessica said what we believe about them from birth. Because I've had somewhere I wanted to go and I picked out a black dress and my mother saw it and said, no, why? How can you be wearing black? How can you be wearing black? And I'm like, okay, what happened to black? Like even the psychology of color, black is a symbol of power. Black is a symbol of authority, but my mom has some stereotype around Black being sadness, Black being something where you wear when somebody dies prematurely. So how did she arrive at that? It is primarily based on her interpretations. And these interpretations have been colored by our upbringing, our environment we find ourselves in, and also our experiences. So the moment your interpretation of something becomes subjective and you are caught in the bog of stereotyping, your ability to build a profitable business becomes hampered because you no longer see human beings. You see labels, you lose customers, and you excuse yourself from what they can pay you. So I'm going to be taking this on 3 levels. First of all, yes, everybody's culture, mindset, and all that. Your perception of your clients to a very large extent will impact the transformation you are able to create with them. Nobody is flawed. Nobody needs fixing. And this is a hard message for people who are called in this space, particularly when you see that somebody is struggling with something. I'm trying to bring down my voice. My children says when I get passionate about talking about family life, I tend to shout. So if I'm shouting, please excuse me. I'm not shouting at you, just the passion that is not able to express itself without being this boisterous, right? But the thing about this is, who do you see when you see your clients? Just like who did you see when you saw those pictures? Somebody saw sex worker. Somebody saw somebody who was selling something. What if you had to work with that woman? What will be the first thing that is going to come to your mind when you see the person? Are you going to see a helpless person? Somebody who is gone. Somebody the devil has taken away her glory. The devil has taken away her soul. I want to reclaim her soul back, because your perception of people is going to show up in how you do your work. And that takes me to the second perception. Your perception of people, which impacts how you do your work, will also impact the transformation you can create. So many people do not remember what you say. They remember the transformation that encountering you has with them. And the transformation encountering you has with them is seated on your belief about a human being. So no matter the struggle a person is facing, one of the things that I tell my clients when I chance with them is my opening work philosophy. You are the expert of your life. You have all that you need, and all that you have, you need. Because I fundamentally see a human being, man or woman, created in the image of God, that has been disconnected from their true essence. Maybe by the handlers in their life, their upbringing, the guidance in their life, maybe by the experiences they've had and the meanings they gave to those experiences. And so they are showing up in the world not as their real self, because God created all of us pure and good. Nothing good came out of God. And so if there's any bad in anyone, it means that that bad behavior was learned. And that bad behavior was learned either consciously or unconsciously. And so because you maintain that perception that everybody is inherently good, is going to impact how you see your clients and the transformation you can ever create with them. Once you see your clients in the new rules of family life as somebody who needs saving, you have already gotten it mixed up. And your transformation may just be shallow, but can never go deep and lasting. And that takes to the second. Your perception of your client also impacts the level of transformation you can create with them, because nobody strives in a place where they are judged. Whether you judge them openly, your physiology is judging them. Nobody thrives where they are judged. And so if you do not have a perception of the people as whole, as imperfectly perfect people who do not need fixing, but have been derailed by life from their authentic self, is going to impact how much depth your transformation can be. And like somebody said, we just looked at those people wearing attires that suggest religion, and we say they are worshippers. What if somebody wears this cloth because they know that merely wearing this cloth will impact your mindset about them? Meanwhile, they come with an agenda to create harm. What if they came with an agenda to disrupt and to kill? But because they come clad in the clothes we see as the clothes of righteous people, our mindset does not latch on to take on the vibes that they are bringing. Can you imagine that one of those ladies who was showing up dressed as a sex worker just wore that cloth to identify with other sex workers and win them over? Because rapport is how you gain people. If you come to me and you're sounding righteous, I'm not going to listen to you because already I am judging myself that I'm a sinner. So I don't need somebody else to remind me of my sin. I need somebody else who will identify with me and make it look like I am still redeemable, irrespective of where I'm falling to. So you cannot just judge people. When we do physical classes, I like to come to class wearing my anklets. And sometimes people see me from that face and they're like, this woman wearing anklets. But by the time we start interacting, they're like, man, let me tell you the truth. The first day I saw you wearing that anklet, I'm like, well, who is this one? Oh, who is that? Is it marine spirit? Have they come to do one thing? Because these are items of fashion. And to the pure, all things are pure. But to the impure, everything can be impure. But remember this, and I'm not saying you have to become like your client. I'm saying that you cannot win your client if you have a superiority mindset over them and you see them as people who need to be fixed. Okay, because the biggest error in our world today is the error of assumption. Everybody feels they know what they do not know. And interestingly, no matter your wealth of knowledge, all you know right now is not all there is to know. I want that to sink in, because sometimes I encounter people who may have gotten some successes, and I say to them, so what's your personal development goal? As a family, as a practice, what is your budget for continuous development? I'm like, I've done FSC, I've done this and that, I've done this and that. What else is there to know? No. Everything you know is not all that there is to know. And so if you have that mindset that you know it all, that is the foundation of your family life practice going down. Assumption is the mother of frustration and the lowest level of knowledge. Which is why if you are a practitioner in family life space, I don't care the niche that you're in, and you do not have tools that help you diagnose what is happening with your clients, and you're just basing the work you're doing on them based on, these are the likely challenges that could cause this. When people present with this, these are the likely. Then you're not ready for a 21st century transformative practice. Because somebody can show up with headache. My head is aching me. There are 1,000,001 reasons why somebody can have a headache. And so if you just say to the person, take paracetamol because you have given paracetamol to some other person and they were healed, you might just be missing the mark and even perpetuating the problem of the person. Because somebody could be dehydrated and have headache. And no matter the quantity of paracetamol such a person takes, the headache will not subside because what that person needs is hydration. Take fluid. So where else in your practice have you given solutions to people? Where else in your practice have you given solutions to people based on your past glory or based on your past results or based on what they say, when somebody presents with this, it is one of this or that, and then you begin to treat people and cause more havoc. Whereas there is a system that can help you diagnose what may be happening with your clients. I mean, if you go to a hospital and you just reel out your signs and symptoms and the doctor gives you injection and gives you medication, as against you go to another hospital and the doctor listens to you, take notes, asks you some question, and then recommends you to run some tests, to do some x-rays or whatever based on your signs and symptoms before, how will I put it, dispensing or giving you drugs or medications to take. Which of the doctors do you think is more professional and is likely to get more results? It is the doctor who gets to the root cause analysis, which is one thing that is lacking, and why I find it very difficult to make contributions on social media. These days, I've decided that what I will do is to have educational posts and inspirational posts. Because sometimes people tag me, oh, my husband is doing this to this, I caught him with my stepdaughter, what should I do? I can't tell you what to do because I don't know the dynamics of your family. I don't know your root cause analysis. I don't know what drives you. I don't know how you got to this mess. I don't know the experiences in your home. I don't know the meta programs in your head. How do I give you an advice? And so people come on social media, Mr. A will write this, Mr. B will write, Mr. C will write, Mr. D. At the end, the person is more confused than when they came. That shouldn't be your practice. So the best I do in such scenarios is I recommend that the parties should sit with a professional, and I give instances what that will do so that there is proper diagnosis and recommendations, because we can all be making noise and the post is trending, but we did not have any tailored solution to the person in the situation except confusing them the more. Which is why we say that a family life practitioner whose knowledge base is skewed, when I mean skewed, is not aligned, is misaligned, is disruptive, not disruptive in a good way, but not coherent, not transformative, not based on real-time data, can cause more harm than good. And that is why I always sound a warning to people who are taking up this work. Every niche in family life space is a work of the heart. And so if you make a mistake with your clients and misdiagnose them, or you do not give them adequate interventions that they are needed, you are further sinking them. I've had to work with clients who say to me, oh, the other lady, when I was telling her what was going on in my marriage, she was just telling me, you know what? You have to endure like a soldier of Christ. You know, a good woman builds her home. And then I was trying to build and build and build, but I was dying slowly. And one of the things that I find out in Africa and Nigeria family life practice, whilst it is based on good intent, because everybody is doing the best with the resources they know, is how we shove down biblical quotes down the throats of people who are struggling, rather than giving them a constructive treatment plan. So even if you say a wise woman builds her home, are you aware that you can create a strategy from that quote? First of all, what's wisdom? How do you apply wisdom without knowledge? So that means that if you're going to help a woman activate a wise woman builds her home, you first must have a system where she's consistently getting knowledge that she can apply through wisdom. A wise woman builds her home. First of all, understanding the mechanics of building. When you are building something, do you just come and stand and something is building? It suggests that there is a building, means that there is a foundation. And if the foundation of the building is not well, the building will crumble. So if you are teaching a wise woman how to build a home, what foundation are you helping her lay? What are the building blocks that she has to put? It's not just quoting the quote. We are good in quoting quotes. People who don't quote quotes take the quote and build systems out of it, and the world is thriving. So what basis do you have for the work you're currently doing, and how can you scale that up? So let's do a reality check. If you ask yourself, based on the past 1 year, the past 6 months, the past 3 months, a reality check of you, the problems you have helped people solve, the solutions you have helped them create, the transformations they have gotten, how skilled will you say you are in handling the various problems in the family life sector? And I'm hoping I still have people with me that this is helping you to check something. How skilled are you? So let me help you do this reality check. So this exercise, we're going to run it through together. I'm trying to catch up with time and really get to that point where we're able to identify sabotaging beliefs and begin the uninstallation of it, so that when we come tomorrow, we'll start talking about the laws and the rules of family life practice. So this is a reality check. What is your desired family life practice results? When people come to you, what do you want to help them create? I like to also ask this to my mentees and even the people I'm working with. Can you tell me, when somebody is describing working with you as a family life practitioner, what are the emotional words you want the person to use? Do you want the person to leave you feeling transformed, feeling inspired, feeling energized? Do you want the person to leave you feeling hopeful? Do you want the person to leave you feeling happy? And I'm sure if the people that are here that have encountered me, either in my trainings or in me working with them in any of my interventions, the consistency of the emotions are similar. Because it is not just a wish, it is intentional, and the vibes and the strategies and the systems are set up to produce that emotional connection. So what results do you want your clients to have? And where are you on that result currently? If you've named the kind of results you want them to have, do a reality check. On a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 being they don't experience that at all, and 10 being everybody experiences that, where will you say you are on that scale? If you've identified that, what actions have you taken so far? And how effective are they? You already have your desired family life practice results, and you have been able to measure the scale of where you are right now, which is your reality. What actions have you taken so far? I need engagement, please. Come to the chat room, and remember, we are all learning. Remember, I say nobody knows it all. Learning is continuous. So don't even feel like, if I say where I am is 2/10, they will be like, this one never starts. No, everybody has to do this reality check at different points in their practice, so that you are sure that you are keeping pace with what you want to do. What actions have you taken? How effective are those actions? So what beliefs have you installed, and what templates are you using? What beliefs have you installed? What templates are you using? And what is your competence level, your competence/confidence level? This is a typo, it's not content. Competence and confidence level. At a point in my career as a family life practitioner, I've had to confront many sabotaging beliefs. One of them being a money limiting belief. And that was even after I'd worked in banking, I'd come and set up my practice, and I was on this day on a night show. I will always remember that day. And a practitioner who also was an AOP in one widely watched television network invited me on a show. And on that show, I was also to sell a program that I was planning so that people will sign up. So it was well structured that, I'm going to come and take questions on that subject matter. And as people are asking questions, I'm going to redirect them. Imagine how many live programs will give you the opportunity to invite people to your program. That was an opportunity I had. But men and brethren, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, yours truly had to lodge in a hotel near the network, because the network station is far from my home. The program is a night time program starting around 11 p.m. So there was no way I could commute back and forth. I took my lovely, obedient husband with me so that he will keep me company in the hotel room. All through the program, the lady was asking me questions that would help me redirect people to that program I was having. I did not even mention the program at once. She kept giving me signal. At a time, her manager or production manager was signaling to her that her facial expression was showing because it's a live program. And then I was still interning with praise. And the next morning, because Praise stayed awake to watch the program, and like, so that Dima will sell and then she will do this program. And I did not mention that program for once, even though I had all the opportunities to sell it to be sold out. And I came to work that morning, the next day, and he just looked at me and said, Dima, you need to fix your money limiting beliefs. That was the first time it occurred to me that I had a money limiting belief. Because if you had asked me, I would have thought that money, no, what, how? And that took me on a journey to begin to identify. I don't want to take you through all the processes, how I identified this, but I made a connection, not even that day. I made a connection to why I struggled in talking about money. And a bit of it is tied around the mindset as somebody coming from a religious background, that what I was doing was service unto humanity. Although I was consciously writing the price of the program on the posters, deep down in me, I had not dealt with the belief that people could pay for the service I was helping them to create. So you may have beautiful templates. It may even be there on your vision board, how you want your practice to be. But if you've not identified the beliefs that are sabotaging you and deal with them, you will be in this practice for 10 years. You will not achieve the result because you have not fixed it from the roots. So what are your current results? How many clients have you successfully assisted in the last 1 year? Let's not even make it 1 month. If you look at your success rate for 1 year, how many people have you successfully helped? Not only successfully helped them, but are still helping them, because somebody who has taken a transformation from you is most likely going to buy another transformation that meets their need if the transformation was lasting for them. And they are the easiest people to recommend people to your programs. I have a program coming up next month, Get Your Power Back project. I have not even started selling it actively, but the program is almost 80% filled up. Everybody that has signed up for the October class were referred by people who are taking the program, even when the marketing has not started. How much were they willing to pay you to assist them fix their marriage, family life problems? That's what you need to do. So imagine me, the lady with the money limiting mindset who could not sell a program, now becoming a lady who can sell even without batting an eyelid of the value of the product and having the product sold out before any intentional marketing. It is because it is possible if you know and you have a template. Are we still together? Network wanted to, do me basketballs, but I'm ready for it. So if we're still together, if it's making sense, if you're learning something, I want you to come to the chat room and say, what's that thing they used to say? Dima, don't kill me. Or somebody should have me say it in Yoruba. Anyways, but we're still together. I'm hoping we're still together. But really, there's so much you can do. Yes, thank you for that. There's so much you can do when you fix your mindset, because that's the foundation. And if you're working with your clients and you don't have the tools to help them change mindset, my dear, there's no result you can help them create, because every result is still at the mercy of their mindset. All right. So tell me so far what has jumped for you, what you've learned from the first session so far, what we've done before we come to session 2. I'm seeing my people here. Juwon sure is we're togetherness. So people, tell me what stood out from you. If we ended this class today and all you needed to take away to practice the new rule of family life is what we have shared so far, tell me what stood out for you and what you're going to do. Darlington, I know you're still here learning. Tell me one thing you have learned. That's what I'm interested in. Quickly, before I move on to the second session. Oluchi says, challenging my limiting beliefs. Assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. Keep it coming as we go on to the next one. So let's look at session 2. 7 reasons why family life practitioners struggle. Okay, someone is saying, go to your clients with an open mind, don't prejudge them. Nobody needs fixing. Undoing limiting beliefs. All you know is not all there is to know. All right, thank you for being an engaging class. So what are some of the reasons that we've identified why people struggle? Let me start by sharing this. One of it is the profitability mental block. Can this work pay my bills? And I can tell you, for somebody who has transitioned from banking, with the initial fear of, am I going to leave this mobile salary and go and set up this practice? Will I suffer financially? What will happen? And I always like to put things in perspective, that also one of the things that helped me in taking that decision was also the support of my husband, and also the fact that we had a family economy outside of the family life practice. Because I don't always like to give people hanging somewhere. Because somebody will say, oh, you need to leave, sack your boss and set up a practice. And then you didn't put some structures in place. And then you come back and you're like, no. But I tell you that even now in 2023, the speed of your practice becoming highly sustainable and profitable is even faster than when I left banking in 2016. Because there are more systems that you can deploy to really scale up, especially if you fix your limiting mindset around money and your practice on time. Remember, I still had money limiting to deal with even after I set up my practice. So imagine if I didn't have that. Imagine just using that scenario of that offer I had in the television station, how it would have affected other things until I dealt with it. So if you're dealing with your mindset gaps, you can actually accelerate your business faster than the Queen of Happiness did, or even some other people. So profitability mindset, mental block. Can this work pay my bills? Yes, the work can pay your bills if you know what to do and you submit to continuous learning. You can pay your bills if you structure your business such that it is profitable based on empowering beliefs that can fund the behaviors that will give the money. But I always like to remind people, learn to earn. As much as learning doesn't stop, you must also be willing to learn so that you can earn. When I left banking, like I shared with you, I interned with Praise for Wowe and with the Institute. And 7 years on, I'm running my private practice, but I'm still an integral part of the Institute because there are systems the Institute is setting up that I take advantage of and I can adapt in my practice because I have somebody who has gone ahead, who has done the work that I'm learning from. So many times I tell practitioners, don't just want to do this thing solo. Nobody thrives in isolation. We are created as social beings. And so we must also tap into the cycle of networking to build our practice. So yes, you can earn, but if you do not fix your mindset about earning and the work being one that people can pay you for, you will struggle to earn. The second reason why people struggle is the lack of creative productization or leverage. So creative products, let me put it that way so that we break the English. How do you create products and how do you now leverage on it to grow your practice? It is something people struggle with. Busy every day, churning out content, doing things, but yet not able to create any transformative solutions that the market needs. That is a catch there, that the market needs. Because one of the challenges why people struggle in this area is that you can be caught up with creating solutions you think the market needs and not exactly what the market needs. So do you know how to do market research? How much do you know about how to check if this product is viable? Where are you learning how to match emotional psychology of buying, psychology of needs with your productization? Or are you just busy writing content, showing up on social media, being frustrated that nobody is buying? Have you even learned the act of making offers? Because a lot of people, and I'm not telling you I'm 100% an expert of it. Right now, as I speak with you, even with the structure I have in my business, I'm taking a sales growth training. Because I recognize that all I know is not all there is to know. So each time I audit my business, I'm looking for where do I need more skills? Which are the areas in this business that I need to grow? And then I key into what do I need to learn from and what do I need to learn? I'm never afraid of learning, even if it is from somebody that I taught. Because if the person is able to produce a result I am not yet able to produce, then that means there's something I need to learn from the person that I would learn. The science and act of creating creative products is a skill. It's a skill set on its own, and it requires a set of tool sets. And so if you don't have that, but you're busy online creating questions, answering questions up and down. I am growing my social media platform, but I want to let you know that there are people who are making millions in this business who are not active on social media, as much as I recognize that social media is the market of today. So your social media presence must also be intentional. How much of educational posts am I putting out there? How much of inspirational posts am I putting out there? How much of character posts am I putting out there? How do I learn how to make call to actions that would inspire people to buy? All of those are skills. That is the reason why many people are struggling. Sorry, I mistakenly did this. Is a reason why many people are struggling. Let me see what I did there. Okay. Are we still together? All right. Okay. So I touched on something, so I needed to go back. So if we're still together, tell me we're still together. All right. So there's a science and art to creating transformation, and it can be as simple as determining where your client is, the people you want to help, where are they? What are the characteristics of these people? What are their pain points? What are their pleasure points? What are they struggling with externally and internally? Where do I want to take them? This solution, these products, I like to call them solutions. I don't like calling them products because product does not carry the weight of the work it can do. This solution that I want to create to my clients, who is at point A, there has to be a predetermined point B where you're taking them. That is known to you. What are the characteristics of a person at point B? How would their life be? What should they be able to do? What should they not be able to do? Then your creative transformation is now, how do I take this person from point A to point B? What does the person need to know? What does the person need to have? What should the person be able to do? If you understand this, I just put it in the basic way. If you understand this, then you can create transformative products that have predetermined transformations. That is also a reason why people are struggling in their family life practice. Okay? The next reason why people are struggling is obsolete, ineffective practice templates. Obsolete, ineffective practice templates. Now imagine if you insist in my practice, and this is also why people are struggling in family life, aside from in the practice, but in reality, in people's families, because a good number of people are so stuck on their old ways that are no longer serving them. But because that is how our ancestors did it, that is how my forefathers did it, that is how they have done it since I was born, you cannot come and teach me. Interestingly, I'm running ads to promote a marriage preparation program, and I saw somebody say to under that ads, somebody came and laughed and said, marriage don't get masterclass. And I just smiled with empathy for that soul, because it just means that the person does not know that there are dynamic tools and templates that they can use. So imagine you insisting that your children must learn how to type using typewriter. Or you come to your practice and you say to your workers, you know what, in this practice, we must use this telephone that you have to dial, because my forefathers did it. And when they do it, it will do boom, 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 boom. And that is how I know that phone calls are made. You want to ask yourself, how relevant are your tools today? The methods that you're using, the messaging that you're using, are you aware, especially for those in the parenting and adolescent niche, that telling young people that they need to imbibe virtuous living so that they don't go to hell is no more fashionable? Somebody said to me, I have heard that Jesus is coming since I was born. That would you know anybody that has gone to hell? How do you know how hell is? Another one joked and called a musician's name and said, it should be hell. Sure, you'll be dead singing for us. We'll be dancing. And that is not in any way downplaying the place of building spirituality in the children. I'm just telling you that the messaging has changed. If you are still there talking about why they should be upright and responsible and resilient so that they don't go to hell, the cheese are moved. The children have left that zone. They are not interested in that message. So how relevant is your messaging today? How much do people trust? How much do you trust your systems to produce the desired results? You cannot be working with someone in 2023 and you are insisting on the methodologies of your forefathers who never knew that a time will come when both of us, me and you, can be having this conversation via a computer. And that is the person that you are basing how you're doing life in 2023 on. Yes, there are many remarkable good things about our culture, but there are some others that are not serving, especially if it is subjecting one gender over the other, or somebody does not have a fullness of expression, then that template is obsolete. If you even look at AI, recently I was working on an evaluation to help intending couples check chemistry and compatibility levels and now know what to do, whether is there a right mix of chemistry and compatibility. And whilst I was working on the evaluation that can assist them to do that, I just visited ChatGPT and fed ChatGPT with my data, and we began a conversation back and forth. And within minutes, the work that would have taken me, I've created evaluations, because working with a psychometric effect is one thing that I love to do, and that is one of the things that FSC will empower you with. So I know what it takes doing the work alone and doing it. But now with that data fed into ChatGPT, I was able to finish that task in no time. Robots and bots are taking over the work of family life practice. Somebody can go online and see a bot that says, if you are lonely, I can keep you company. And you punch some things and just answer yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And it tells you about what you are feeling. It tells you what you need to do. So why should somebody come to you when a robot can do that work for less? We still have the human effect. That's what computer and AI cannot do well. That social human effect. But if that is all you offer, I'm sorry, you're going to go obsolete. So what are you bringing to your humanness? What are you bringing to your emotional connection that will make a client prefer you than others or prefer you than a robot? And how transformational your message, your methods, and what you're doing. That is another reason why people struggle, because they're just rinsing and repeating stereotypical jargons that is no longer relevant. Inability to master business systems. And I'm sure you've heard this over and over. Freely I receive, freely I give mentality with no scalable systems. The key word here is no scalable, no systems at all. Talk less of making it scalable. No structures to how you create results. No strategies. The results that you produce, even if you have produced results, or you can produce results with your clients, can you hand me over the flow charts, the template of that your result, and I can use it and deploy it and create similar results? That means that you have a system in place. But if you are the only one who can have to do that, then how will you scale that? I looked at myself and my husband celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. I turned 46 this year. My husband will turn 50. And we said, you know what? We have to deploy our solutions and license people to be able to produce similar results. Because I want to be doing baby girl life and just be doing consultancy for high tech, for government, and for all that. Not to be still doing, one-on-one job. And please, I'm not saying one-on-one job is not effective. I'm saying that I have come to a part where I need to deploy systems of people who can run with the proven flow charts and create such transformations. That is what you should be thinking of, even as you're setting up your business and documenting your process. Creating flow charts for your processes for each transformation that you create so that people can take it and run with it. Because we want to transform Africa using effective family systems. How many people can praise for what we work with per time or even deploy a strategy to? That's one of the reasons why the network of family systems engineering is around, so that the more people that we train and hand over this template to, the more they can go across Africa, across the world, and replicate the results, because it has been proven that this tool works. So why people struggle and get burnt out is because their system revolves around them. Praise is not here today, but I'm sure that you're getting the value for being here, because I am a system of the system that can deliver the same results. So in your business, who are you? What systems do you have? How do you even create the result with your clients? This is just a simple flow chart to say, for example, you create your system, you master it. So it's not just, oh, I created it, I've gotten one result with it, I've gotten 2 results. Oh yeah, it's time to certify people. Hey, it's time to do licensing. No. You have to master that solution and ensure that you have tweaked it, it can create results. Then you sound and focus your signals and ensure that it is the best that exists. Who knows about the solution that you have created? Who knows about the transformation it can get? How many people know about that? Emeka Nobis posted something recently on social media. Emeka Nobis is a business strategist that I follow, and I've learned a lot from him. And he posted something recently and he got us engaging. He was talking about somebody who stands out as a sex worker. And then this young lady who stands out as a sex worker comes online and talks about, hey, this is the hotel I'm going to be at so time on so day. If you want to take me, like if you want to hire my services, meet me up at so openly on social media. And she's having sessions. She's coming on live and she's sharing, oh, when you are picking a sex worker, these are the do's and don'ts. When you are with a sex worker, don't do this and do that. And declaring herself as a sex worker. And then you that has the tools to change life, which you claim is the transformative tool, you are not even sounding your signals. It's like you are a lamp lit and put under the cupboard, rather than being a lamp that is placed on the hill, so that everyone will see your light and your signs and glorify your Father who is in. So how much are you sounding your message? Are you attracting and building a tribe of believers and institute a training for them? Like I said, that is the phase. Are you turning your believers to evangelists and placing them on a commission? You're going to get there. The people for the licensing program, they're getting commissions, right? Like even when you train and become somebody writing a report, you get paid for that. You refer people into the work that you believe in, you're getting commissions. So that's how it works. You convert to evangelists to disciples, you build systems that give disciples independent expression. And that is something I love about what we are doing here. If you've ever listened to Praise for Where and you are listening to me as the director of studies, you will know that our vibes are different, our energies are different. We have different strengths as much as we're speaking to the same. So it's not that you don't want to be a business owner where everybody has to talk like you. Everybody has to reason like you. Nobody can argue with you. No, that business is going to die. People are going to just flood around you as sycophants and be doing eye service. But it's a business where you can allow people to take on their originalities and exhibit their full expressions the way that they are wired, because all of us are created differently for a reason. If God wanted everybody to speak like me, then he will create everybody like me. But because he understands the beauty of diversity, he gave all of us different strengths and different mannerisms. So are people under you able to find expressions independently? Then that is when you know that you have built a business system. So are you able to create a borderless system for your subscribers, irrespective of where they are? Are you attracting subscribers and allow disciples to manage them for you at a cost? That's what I'm talking about. Are you standardizing and managing your standardizations and reinventions of solutions? You know, we're in a place where it doesn't matter, is God doing it for us? So some people are creating solutions, they don't have intellectual property protection, they don't have trademarks, they are not copyrighted, and so anybody just takes it and is doing anything with it, and you're like, they're stealing my idea, they're stealing my idea. There is a system to protect your idea to an extent. How much of that are you deploying? And then you create the next level of solutions, repeat the process, and the cycle continues. That's how to build business systems. That is a struggle many people have because they don't have a benchmark to learn from, because they don't belong to a network where this is shouted, because, again, they have not even been able to master themselves. And so mastering business systems is just almost telling somebody who is still in primary one to start doing PhD work. Another thing is confusing family life practice with activism. I need to talk about this. A luta continua, but is Victoria asserta? You know, when we in university and all of that, there's this activism thing. Oh, we're championing this, we need to change. As much as there is advocacy in family life practice, your work as family life practice will not be effective if your advocacy does not help somebody create a change. Your call for alert does not include a step-by-step process. So many people, I remember one time, Nickelodeon was coming to Nigeria to do a family show. And then they were advertising the program and stuff like that. And most people who were invited to sing for children were A-list musicians and artists whose lyrics of their music was not child appropriate. It was not age appropriate. It was not something language for children. And so a group of us, family life practitioners, we said, no, we're not going to allow this to happen. We needed to go out and talk. So we started writing to the organizers to say, no, we can't allow this. This is not right. And they're like, okay, we hear you, but can you suggest artists with clean lyrics, with the kind of child-appropriate lyrics that you would want us to perform at those shows? And we came back and started to ask ourselves, sadly, we could not find artists of national, how will I put it, hype, or that are known, even if it's not too much national, but at least artists that could come and perform in that show that had clean lyrics. It wasn't there. So our work is not just to make noise, it is also to create systems and solutions. That is why family life practice, as championed by the Institute, involves putting our practitioners in the different spheres of influence. We need to have people talking family life in government. I'm glad that one of our practitioners, I don't know if the person has been announced yet, but is getting a post in a state house of assembly or something of that sort. And I'm sure that the person will be going in with FSC ideologies because has been trained, has been certified. We need practitioners who will be in government. We need practitioners who will be in policy making, in economy. We need practitioners in schools, practitioners in the media. We need practitioners in arts and entertainment. We need practitioners all over because it is where decisions are made that we need to bring the FSC ideology and create change rather than just shouting at the top of our heads. Carrying placards is good, but how much of the placard carrying has created the change that we've been desiring for how many years? So confusing family life practice with activism will train you, will make you feel that you are busy, but in the long run, when you get back to your beds, you will not be able to measure the transformation that you have made. Another belief is the practitioner's self-esteem. And this can be caused by different things. Oh, who am I to teach somebody else when my marriage is like this? Who am I when I've not been able to fix my own? Who am I when I was abused as a child? Who am I? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not enough. I cannot give value. I'm insignificant. Can a true change come from me? Would people really listen to me? Can I do the work? Hey, how did they grow to become this confident and stuff like that? That is one of the sabotaging mindset that has kept some practitioners from building thriving business and making the kind of money they can make from their practice. Because who am I to teach anyone how to do marriage better? Now I recognize that it's important for you to recognize that family life is a body of knowledge and a study. It's like a doctor who has been trained as a gynecologist and has gone through all of the rigorous training, done his house job, done everything, has good grades, is able to, has done his practicals, his housemanship and everything, and is okay. And then he comes to actually helping a woman bear a child. And he's saying to himself, or she is saying to herself, who am I to help her bear this child when I've not given birth myself? They are not related. It's a body of knowledge. And so if you learn the knowledge and you practice it, you can give the value. All right? So I see people saying, I'm looking for a marriage counselor. And they send me one guy that is single. How will he be able to help me what is single? Has he experienced marriage? And I smile because really, when it comes to marriage, my experience is not your experience, because how I am experiencing marriage is a combination of my worldview and my filters and my mindset and my experiences and all the knowledge I have, both my upbringing factor, my experiences factor, the environment that shaped me factor, the education that shaped me, vis-a-vis everything I've learned, and that of my partner. All of these resources make how we do marriage. So I can't teach you how I am doing marriage because you don't have my life experiences. Your husband does not have my husband's experiences. However, I can teach you the principles that make for marriage and you apply it to your unique situation. So to be able to teach that, I don't have to be married. I just need to know the principles, the systems, have tools that can help me diagnose what is happening, have tools that can help me make recommendations to you, have a system that helps me to track the progress you are making, have a system that helps me to connect with you deep down into your soul so that you can be vulnerable with me, have a system that creates a safe space, have a system that makes you trust me enough to open your heart to me, and have a system to go back to the drawing board when what I have created as solutions for you is not bringing the desired results. Because I mean, if you're here And you've once gone to the hospital and they gave you some medication. And as you were taking it, it wasn't giving the effect. You go back to the doctor either changes your meds or places you on another meds, but you don't go back and say, that means the doctor does not know what he's doing. It's the same thing as the practice, because there are many factors that are involved. I remember one time a lady reached out to me and I told her my processes and how I work. And then she said to me, can you guarantee me that if I pay you for this, this will work? I told her I can guarantee you that I will do my professional work. I can share testimonies with approval of people that I've worked with who had similar situations that have caused transformation. However, I cannot guarantee you 100% that if you pay me and I give you the interventions, it will work, because I can only play my part. You have to play your own part. And I said to her, it's like going to the hospital and you tell the doctor, will this medication work? Based on what the medication is meant to do, yes. But the doctor is not going to take the medication with you. The same way that people abuse antibiotics, and you are said, take antibiotics 2 times a day for 7 days. Somebody takes it for 2 days and feels relief and throws the medication away. And after like 3 months, the issue comes back again. He goes to the hospital again and he's saying like, the other one did not help me. How would the other one help you when you did not follow to type what you were told to do? So it's not my responsibility to do your responsibility, which is why in your work, never you feel bad, as in feel destroyed, feel totally down when your interventions does not produce the result you wanted to produce, because you are not responsible for the part that your client has to pay. If the client is not paying their part well, then the interventions are likely not going to work as designed. So that you are working with somebody and the relationship still fails, it's not your fault. And I hope that you know that when you're working with a client, every result is a result. I've worked with a client, they were supposed to do a marriage recovery program with me, and the system, we were set for 12 weeks. And we had to terminate the intervention on the 5th week because we hit a deadlock, and both of them were not ready to shift. I used all of the tools, gave all of the interventions, and then one person says, I'm not ready to do this. This is what I'm going to do. If he's not ready to shift, me, I'm not ready to shift. The other one said, I'm not ready to shift. At that point, I told them we have to terminate because I can't do anything if both of you are not willing for us to move above this. And I wrote a termination, termination note for them, telling them what we have achieved so much, the challenge that we are stuck at, and what happened, and then possibility of what will happen if they remain stuck this way, and possibility of what will happen if they decide to now address it. And when they decide to now address it, if they are willing to still work with me, I'm willing to work with them. And 4 to 6 months later, I get a message from one of them that they filed for a divorce. It's not my responsibility. I didn't make them file for a divorce. They had gotten to a point where they felt they could not do anything anymore. So it's important that you recognize that, and you do not judge yourself by the results that your clients are giving. And who are you not to teach family life if that is a burden in your heart? What you just need to do is to match it with tools that create replicable results and transformation, and then run with it. And for every time you see the imposter syndrome showing up, for every time something from your past shows up to judge you, you deal with it face on. That is why every practitioner who needs to thrive needs to understand the process of shame resilience. Because shame is an emotion, a deadly emotion that all of us have the capacity to feel, where we feel flawed, where we feel a dent in our sense of belonging for whatever reason. So we feel shame in different categories. All right. But the important thing is, how are you able to be resilient through the shame? That's a skill you need to have that can help you address low self-esteem whenever it shows up, because it is real. Things will happen that will make you judge your competence and every other thing. Oh my goodness. Time is running. Let's move on. So somebody should come and tell me, Dima, if this is making sense, I need like 10 comments in the comment section for me to be energized to move on. Another struggle that can help, that make people struggle is certifications without context. You have certifications, but you are not able to use it to transmit to solutions. That I think I've talked about that so that we don't flog that. So it doesn't matter how many UK certified. My daughter has carried my water bottle. I don't know who sent her to carry my water bottle. No, even me, I'm needing the water. Somebody is saying, Jimma, drink water. And this is too much. My head is hot. No, the intention is not to make your head hot. The intention is to inspire you, first of all, to make change in your business. And if you are PKO, now your head is hot. Oga, calm down. Your hair should not be hot, your hair should not be hot. I want to inspire you to make a change. So it doesn't matter whether your certification is, let me say something about this certification. And I'm going to say it in context, because I have certifications myself from institutions that are based in America, institutions based in the UK. However, it's important for you to note that there are no US certifications. There are no UK certifications because United Kingdom does not give certification. Neither does United States of America give certification. And that is where that esteem thing is important. I am a graduate of the Flourishing Center based in New York, United States of America. But my certification bears Flourishing Center. That's where I got my positive psychology coaching certification. But I see people coming out, I'm UK certified, and I'm wondering, did the United Kingdom give you certification? We need to have that in mind, because it's not even about the certifications that you have. How much of it are you using? And what transformative solutions have you adapted for the unique needs of your avatar and the people that you're working with, that they are able to get results? So I may have all the certification, but I can't translate it transformations. What good is it? All right. So that is another thing. Again, reality check. And God will help us to be able to get to the point we need to get today. Reality check. Which of these reasons can you easily relate with? Can you find yourself in any of those reasons? Even drawing from my story of, the things I had to navigate in my practice, the sabotaging mindsets I had to deal with. What do you find? If you're looking at your practice right now, and all of this, I think there are 7 struggles that I talked about. Which one do you identify with? If it is 1, if it's 2, or if you want to name it, come to the chat room and name it. Because the more you're identifying with it, the more you're dealing with shame. I talked about shame resilience. One way to deal with shame is that shame strives in secrecy. And so when you expose shame, you are dealing with it. So don't be there and say, hey, let them not say I have certification I'm not using. Let them not say I don't do this. Face what you need to do and grow from it. That is how change happens. And that is one proven way of dealing with shame. All right. So at the root of a struggling practice are self-sabotaging beliefs that every high-performing professional has installed. I take that again. Thank you, Amina, for being vulnerable. I salute you. And Amina, for being the first person to be vulnerable, I want to give you a gift. So, Dima, don't promise too much that you don't have time for. Amina, chat me up, get my number, chat me up. I will give you a free consultation call because you were the first person to be vulnerable and share your struggle. All right, I'll give you a free consultation call. A consultation call with me is $75 and it's for 60 minutes. So you just earn that for yourself for being the first person to be vulnerable. So if there's something that you need, chat me up and just direct it to whichever area you want the consultation. So we're going to be facing one agenda at the consultation call, and that is my gift to you. All right. So at the root of a struggling practice are self-sabotaging beliefs that every high-performing professional has installed. And I think if I invite my team members, you would hear one person sharing that or sharing the other, but I already shared mine of how I had to identify money limiting beliefs, and even dealing with shame occasionally when I look at certain things. I think that at my level, I should be producing this, but I'm still like struggling with it, and it brings shame some of the times, and I have to deal with it in the moment. Okay, so what are those limiting beliefs? Admin, I doubt if we can deal with these limiting beliefs now because we have 6 minutes. I was hoping I would do this, but trust me, I will attend to it tomorrow. I just want to pause here. I don't want to rush through them. I want us to take this and session 4 tomorrow so that we can really take on something. So for the next 6 minutes here, I'd like for you, if you have a question, come to the chat room and drop the question for me. If there's something that I've shared with you from when we started till now that is challenging you, you don't agree with, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of this family that we are trying to introduce to you, that everybody's perspective is valid. So 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, we graduated a set from the FSC program, right? They completed the 12 weeks class. And I think that's the class that our anchor is from. And one of the ladies said something, that her perspective that she had about certain things that had to do with roles and responsibilities of a man and a woman and leadership and superiority was not in alignment with what part of the things that were taught in FSC. And then the day she was sharing it, I was the one taking the class. I take the Oyela class. And so she was sharing it. And I said to her, it's okay. The important thing about beliefs is if you share the same beliefs with your partner. I'm not telling you to take on the beliefs of Dimma Nidum because you are not in marriage with me. What is important is that the mindset you have is in alignment with the mindset of your partner. So if both of you believe, for example, that a wife is a slave to a husband, the husband believes that, the wife believes that, and is working for you, that means you are equally yoked. If both of you believe that what a woman makes in the marriage is her money and what the man makes is our money, and both of you, not one person, both principal partners in the marriage agree to that, that means that it is working for you, your beliefs align, you are equally yoked, and you can produce the results you want. And that's the beauty of FSC. So I'll stop here and hand over back to our anchor. I think the anchor would have tired for me because you just left me. I was rapping and rapping and rapping. You did not call my attention to stop.
I'm actually enjoying your section, seriously. Yeah, it was another aha moment for me. Seriously. You are an expert of your life. There's nothing you've picked from today's section. Just go with this. You are an expert of your life. And I would say you are an author of your life. So many wow periods, so many reasons you want to come back tomorrow, right? Wait for the next testimony and you'll be amazed how many lives has been touched through this institute. Now I'll call in Deborah Anedo. Deborah Anedo, I don't know if you're in the house, so you could share your testimony with us. Deborah Anedo, is she around? Okay. Okay.
If Deborah is not there, maybe then unmute her and bring her up.
Please unmute her, admin.
Admin, where is admin? Deborah, do you mind turning your video on so that you can be spotlighted? Okay, give me a minute. Okay.
Okay, hello, good evening. I'm trying to excuse myself, I'm at work, so I can actually talk. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay. Sorry, I want to get safe. Let me come outside. Is it better now? Can you see me?
We can see you, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good evening. Good evening. I'm actually at work. I work with Lagos State Domestic Sexual Violence Agency. So we run like 24 hours shift. So I'm on duty, but I can give my control. And thank you. And this is another aha moment for me as well, because I've been on my airpod listening, and I feel like I'm hearing another new dimension. Thank you, Dima. Thank you very much. You are actually inspiring. So how I started my journey, I'm a family social worker, and I like to learn more because I help families, especially domestic violence and sexual assault and child abuse. That's like my field majorly. So I stumbled upon Prisco on social media, on IG. I was like, this person quite interesting. And then from there, I saw other links of his page, the academy and everything. And I saw that, when I saw the price, I was like, wow. I was like, I'm going to register for this course. I'm going to do this. And not because it's quite in line with what I am doing right now, but I just wanted something different. And my expectation, what I wrote down, everything and even much more was actually gotten, not just for my profession, but for me personally. I never knew that I was still struggling with some unresolved trauma. So we had healing section in one of our classes. I don't know if Hope can remember. We had healing section in one of our classes, and that section that we were made to write to ourselves, and all that section was a powerful section for me personally, and it has helped me. Like I've seen myself like letting go of so many things and opening myself up for greater things and all of that. And for the course, this first week was so different that I can see it in my work, the way I relate to survival, the way I attend to cases, and how I go about it. And even though it's not in our scope as an LGBT case manager to like use psychoanalysis or use those, but personally, I do them on my own. So when I um, have to like mediate or have like a alternative dispute resolution with the couples and all that, I have like a background knowledge already, like deep information that I could, with some level of accuracy, predict why this man is acting this way and this man is acting this way. And they'll be like, yes, you are saying what? See? Yes, you are hearing me. Like, I'm not really, if I go into this fully like 100%, it's going to be, I know it's going to be mind blowing because we had a lot of people that are doing it, like Dima, she's into it full time. But me, I'm just adding it to what I do in where I work, and I can see great results. Even while I was still learning the course, applying the Oyela tools and like saying that, oh, this is because their beliefs are different, lives are different, and even me. Right now, I've even involved my family. So it's like an assignment to all of them. I think Dima gave us the assignment. Dima and Praise PF asked us to make sure you start from a family. And my brothers, my older brothers, because I'm the last boy, my older brothers, were able, I have to take this thing. I know I might not be able, I'm not really strong at analyzing or doing reports, but take it and I'm going to do reports and I'll send you the report. A wonderful journey so far. I know the world is really open for me. And one thing I like about it doesn't look big because when we finish, we get a mentorship from Lawrence. Like she's a wonderful woman. Some persons that you go through, you go through the course why didn't we to like, okay, oh yeah, do your thing. But no, someone just came up and actually I paying that I have to pay her. I don't think I can pay her because she's paying foreign currency. But she was like 1 month free. I'm going to do this exercise with you. I'm going to build your business structure. And with how it's going, personally, I'm even thinking of, okay, I think I need to go and start my own. Like I need to just move out, and start my own business because it has really been helpful. And you won't just, I think just learn the course and be left in the bar with, we were given systems to work with. We have mentors, I have mentors who now mentor. She's here, she's still wonderful support system. So thank you very much. That's my testimony. It has been life changing for me.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Deborah and Nido. Wait until tomorrow, then you get more haha season. Yes. Do not take time to come here tomorrow. Until tomorrow, which is 7 p.m., wherever you have in any part of the world, do not miss out. Bye for now.
Hello, hold on a minute. And so for tomorrow, for those, I'm seeing some people asking, how do I take on FSC and all that? So it's important to just reiterate that for tomorrow, we'll be announcing the discounts for signing up for FSC. So for attending this event for today, tomorrow, you get to hear, I don't want to talk about it today because I need you to understand really the new rules of family life practice. So if you're interested in taking FSC and you want first a flexible payment plan and also a discount code for signing or for being here with us, please join us tomorrow. That will be announced. And tomorrow again, we'll continue the conversation talking about the sabotaging beliefs and the new rules of family life practice. What are the new rules you have to activate in your practice in this 21st century and beyond that can help you scale up your practice? If that interests you, keep a date with us tomorrow. If you also want to get a discount for the next FSC class, then you just know that 7 p.m. you need to be here. So set your calendars and see you again tomorrow.